Hey there, Sarah with Next Gen Medium. I think I've done a good job so far presenting myself by standing all the time or in a decent place where I feel like someone could probably take me seriously with the things I have to say. But today, roughing it today, and you know what? I'm sitting on the couch. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to sit on the couch. The lighting is terrible. Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, my name is Sarah Nickerson. I'm a psychic medium intuitive, and I like to talk about psychic mediumship stuff, especially development, because I think everybody has these abilities. Psychic ability, mediumship, intuition, healing. I think these are all part of skills that all human beings are capable of doing. We just need to kind of reframe how we think about things and focus on certain things. Things is the key word. And so not only do I want to make people aware that this is a possibility, but I also want to help bring you to the threshold of you seeing that stuff yourself. So one of the things I like to do is I like to go to Reddit and see what questions people have, because I think there's a lot of questions that people put on Reddit that is stuff that I could talk about and bring to the conversation for many people who have the same question. And so let's just get right to the questions. This one's in subreddit of mediums. The comment is from rawthistle. I like that name. It was posted a little while ago, but nonetheless, I want to bring it to you guys. So the headline is, what was the experience that made you believe in an afterlife? Have you always had a connection to the other side, or did you come to this belief later on? So let's go into this post. Hi all, I am currently in the process of deconstruction and wanted to know what other people's experiences were when it comes to believing in an afterlife. What do you believe the afterlife is like? Why do you believe that? And how did you decide you wanted to connect to the other side? Great question. First of all, what is deconstruction? Tell me more. Second of all, so this is going to be a different answer for everybody, but I'll tell you mine. So like I said, actually, I didn't say this, but this is an important part of my story and why I think everybody has psychic abilities. It's so dark. I apologize. Ugh, what am I doing? I was 33 when I finally knew where to put my attention in order to see my psychic abilities, my mediumship abilities, and to hear my intuition and know these things, play with them, find the evidence, have the evidence presented to me, to be beyond a skeptic, a healthy skepticism, and become what I am now, which is a believer that there's more than what's going on, than we're led to believe. So, what was the experience that made you believe in an afterlife? Okay. I'm trying to think. Never really thought about this before. What was my experience for afterlife? The one that sticks out to me the most is one of the most convincing experiences that led me out of skepticism and into belief. And that was after a spiritual awakening and after I took a mediumship class. That was a one-day class. And I want to say a couple months after this stuff, I did a meditation where I connected with my husband's grandfather who had passed away a couple years before. That is almost a year and a half ago, I think. And so I did a meditation, and he is a great communicator. And he was able to give, let me put it another way. I was able to retrieve information beyond my knowing here on this earth plane. Multiple pieces of information that I retained during the meditation and I wrote down. And I was completely open to whatever he wanted to give me. I let him lead the way. I wasn't asking him questions. I was just open and analyzing what was coming through. And sometimes it's just straightforward visuals. Sometimes it's feelings. Sometimes it's knowing. And it was with that meditation, the information from that meditation, I didn't know if it was all real. But when I went to my mother-in-law and I asked her if any of the information made sense, sticking my neck out, fearing that someone would think that I think I'm special enough to do this stuff, fearing being wrong, but I felt safe with her, that she would give me truth and wasn't going to sugarcoat anything or lie to me to make me feel better. But also wouldn't judge me, or wouldn't judge me on thinking that I could actually do this stuff when I was sort of in the process of trying to figure it out. And when she was able to confirm like every single piece of information, stuff I did not know about him, like one of the pieces of information that I had no idea about was a coin that he had in his pocket as she was growing up. He always had this coin in her pocket. And I visualized him flipping it in his pocket. I also visualized that it was like a bronze-looking coin. I knew it was a foreign coin, not an American coin. And it was with these little pieces of information she was able to confirm. Yes, when I grew up, he would flip a coin in his pocket. It was a British coin that they don't make anymore, and it's kind of big. And it's not like silver, it's like bronze. And that was one of the pieces of information. But as I look back, but as I look back, I can almost reconnect with the feelings and what I was getting to interpret all of this information. And it really sticks out to me as a way of my husband's grandfather, David Danielson, coming in to confirm to me what I was starting to open up to believe. And so I think having that experience at age 33, having never explored this stuff before on my own, having watched the shows growing up or gone to gallery readings but never really wanted my own reading, that was the experience for me that made me think, wait a second, I have abilities. Wait a second, I got information from someone who's passed on. Have I always had a connection to the other side? I believe that we always do have that connection. I think it's there's a couple things that get in the way, so we aren't aware that that connection's there. First of all, there's the concept of this. If that's not in your periphery of capability, of opportunity, then that already holds you back. So one example of that is people thinking that certain people are psychics or certain people are mediums. And if I don't experience this stuff as a kid, then I probably don't have it. From my experience, my life, my truth, I have had hints along the way, but now that I know what it's all about and I live it every day, I can look back and I can be like, that was a thing. That was a thing. That dream, that was me connecting with that woman who had passed on, that woman that they were looking for, or the psychic dream I had that made me aware that I had a psychic something or other happen that I can always look back on and be like, I was 12 years old when that happened. So I think I've always had that connection. I don't think I knew what to look for, how to connect, where to focus in order to utilize it the way that I do now. Did you come to this belief later on? So I will say, when we're talking about beliefs, I didn't grow up religious. I kind of formed my own spiritual understanding along the way, but it wasn't a big deal to me. But yeah, I mean, the spiritual person that I am today was really got going a couple years ago when I had a spiritual awakening. I took one 6-hour class, and after that class, my whole world changed. And actually, the woman who did the class, I just did a podcast episode with her that you can hear at Next Gen Medium, the podcast, on all available streaming platforms, where we kind of talk about that a little bit. And it's really amazing to be able to talk with her after having not been able to talk with her for a long time. Someone who just completely changed my world. And it could have been somebody else that could have done that. But I'm so grateful it was her, and she has gone through some crazy, great changes recently. Excuse me. That would be Andy's Mints. Delicious. Brought to you by Andy's Mints. Yeah, I think it's always been, the afterlife has always been a possibility for me. I don't think I ever thought it wasn't a thing, but I was never maybe 100% convinced until I started experiencing things for myself in a way that's like, all right, I got to prove to myself that this is for real. And then once I started getting things and continuing to get things and continue to tune in and hone in on where messaging is, in both for psychic, medium, and intuition, and now I'm kind of venturing into healing. It's different. And I never was really looking for it before. And I wasn't ever looking for it. I think I gave myself a door to open, and there it was waiting for me. I'm very lucky. A lot of things happened for me to be at that point. I'll put it that way. How did you decide you wanted to connect to the other side? I think I was finally in a place in my life where I felt comfortable in my job. And it wasn't a job that I ever envisioned was going to be my career. And I think I was set for so long on trying to find a career that once I had my third child, it took 3 children for me to feel like, you know what? I kind of like being a mom. I get the mom thing. It took me a long time to get comfortable being a mom. And at the same time, I was kind of starting a new job with my third child. And it was a job that didn't require a lot from me other than being myself. And I think with that, I was open to trying something that I'd been wanting to do for quite a while, but didn't maybe have the opportunity or the interests align. And so this was that opportunity. I never thought about this until now. Thank you for these questions. You're clarifying things for me, asking these questions. What do I believe the afterlife is? Like, okay. So I will say, this is the longest video. I say that every video, by the way. This is the longest video. It keeps getting longer and longer. Okay. What do I think the afterlife is? This is going to be different for every person. And that's what I love about this, is every person is going to have their own understanding, their own visuals, their own beliefs, their own feels. I think there are a lot of things that are in common, though. I think there's a beauty to the afterlife that everybody could appreciate. But I think there's a lot of things about being in human form that you can appreciate as well. And once the afterlife comes around, you can't have the experiences like you do in a human body. And I was actually thinking about this the other day. Like, there's so much pain in the human body. There's so much grief, but there's also elation and joy and chaos. And to think of being in the realm of just information. Knowing what and when, and just understanding the complexities of a human being, but not being a human being. I can see how that could be a downer in the afterlife, but I really don't have any visuals of it. I think part of me doesn't care. I don't really care what happens to the afterlife. I have comfort knowing that it's there. Just like when it comes to guides or the source, I really don't think too much about that stuff. That stuff is there to serve me in my human journey. And there will be a point when I get to know all that stuff, but I am too busy trying to do my work here. You know what I mean? My mind needs to think about how to connect with people, and my heart needs to open and show its gratitude and appreciation, even when I don't feel like that. So, what do I know about the afterlife? I know it's there. Don't really care right now. I'm too busy doing my thing here and trying to balance the physical world and that soul, spiritual world. That's difficult. And so I reach out sometimes when I need help me, help lift me or help ground me. And I'm actually having a hard time kind of finding that balance right now. I think a lot of people are. Okay, I'm going to end it there. So I hope that helps. That is fantastic. That is really good. I think I'm going to put this question in a podcast because this is good stuff. This is stuff I never really thought about talking about before, because it's based a lot on personal experience. It's based a lot on your own truth, which to me is like, that's mine. I'll share it, but nobody else should be, relaying my truth unless you feel that's your truth, So I don't like talking about theoretical or any stuff like that, but I guess it is a good example of this is my truth. What's yours, And that's how it should work. Nobody should be telling anybody else how it works. That's just how I always have done my thing. Okay. The great question, rawthistle. Thank you for asking that. And I hope these answers helped you, rawthistle. And I hope anybody else who has these questions or has these things that they think about, if there's something in there that resonated with you, give me a like on the video and subscribe. I got more of these videos. I want to do these a lot more often. And I think that will be coming down the pike. This will be a more regular thing. Check out my podcast, Next Gen Medium Podcast. It's on Apple. It's on Spotify. Where do you get your podcasts? That's where it is. That's where it is. And I actually have a special announcement coming on that pretty soon. I also have a website, nextgenmedium.com. I like to help people with their development. I do readings. If there's something you're interested in, I'd love to help you out. So you can sign up for an appointment. And I have a whole thing I'm supposed to say. Please hit the subscribe button to be notified when another video is published, and like this video if this information helped you understand things for yourself a little clearer, or maybe get some things turning in your head about what it means to you. Thank you for watching, and shoot me a message below. Thank you.